Hello, my name is Eric Wadodogo. I'm the founder of Learnteria. Today, we're hosting the webinar, Effectiveness Marketing. For educators, testimonials and customer satisfaction measures often aren't enough. First, I just want to tell you a little bit about Learnteria. We created Learnteria to help the 8 million educators in the United States make informed buying decisions by providing them with an Amazon or Yelp-like interface, which will allow them to research, rate, and review the tools that they use every day. We're doing this because past 10 years I've been a marketing and sales executive in organizations selling products and services to schools, and in that time I often heard these sorts of questions. How does this help my students? Who else is using this? How effective is your solution? Well, that's why we created Learnteria. On Learn now, it's a first of its kind website. It's cost-effective advertising for education resource providers. Over 1,000 organizations have signed up to add their resources to their site. Like I said before, educators can research, rate, and review the tools that they use every day. There are over 1 million resources in our database. There are books, there are videos, there are services, there are trade associations, and everything in between. And we're designed by a team of people who really care about this. Educators and education marketing and sales executives. What we did was, when we were bringing this idea to the market, we surveyed 100 people who worked in school. These were administrators and teachers in public and private schools. We asked them to give us words to describe when they're trying to find resources for their classroom. The number one word that came out was students at the core. I mean, they're worried about thinking about their students, the children, making sure that those resources are engaging, that they make sure that they drive learning. So, in addition, we asked them whether or not our resource is something that they would use. More than 80% said that this is something that they would be interested in because there's so much information out there. I mean, going back to the previous slide, one respondent said that the word that they would use to describe their situation was painful because there's so much information. But we're also interested in the other 18% of people who said that they were unlikely to use a rating and review service. Those people were worried about arbitrary reviews. In particular, they wanted something that was research-based. That's why what we did was we teamed up Dr. Valerie Valencia and Stellar Research. And today she's going to talk about effectiveness marketing, moving from just talking about testimonials to something more. So with that, I introduce Dr. Valerie Valencia.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Eric. I'm Dr. Valerie Valencia, the founder and CEO of Stellar Research and the self-proclaimed effectiveness marketing visionary. I'm a laser physicist, a research professor in the College of Optical Sciences at the University of Arizona, an international expert in the field of biometrics, and, quite frankly, a health and wellness nut. I'm happy to have the opportunity to speak with you all, and I'd like to ask your permission to share what I have discovered about effectiveness marketing and how it helps me and my clients guide ideal prospects into our sales funnel, convert prospects into customers, validate our value proposition, form stronger bonds with our customers, differentiate from our competitors, and earn repeat business. Put on your seatbelts. Here we go. So why do we care about product and service effectiveness? Well, there are many benefits, but primarily it helps us understand our value proposition from our customer's perspective. If what we think we deliver is aligned with what our customers perceive we deliver, then we have delivered what we promised. We make money, and our customers are happy and satisfied. If our business claims are not aligned with our customers' perception, we're most likely losing customers, getting bad reviews, not getting the data we need to improve our product, losing repeat sales, and no doubt we're experiencing miscommunication. We're losing revenue. So what is effectiveness marketing? In short, it's the application of longitudinal testing over time, to products and services. It can be used to significantly enhance our marketing and sales efforts. Before, after, or pre-post longitudinal testing is widely used in scientific studies and clinical trials, and it's even used in weight loss programs in the form of before-after photos. Effectiveness marketing utilizes this pre-post measurement approach, and it's useful for all products and services that create a measurable change or provide a measurable benefit in the lives of their customers, which certainly includes educational resources. The way it works is that we incentivize end customers to take a fun 3-minute assessment, both before and after they try a product or service. Each before-after assessment, or quiz, is customized to measure the changes we expect our customers to experience based on our specific product or service. In this example, the blue bars are the scores before taking Morgan's CEO Acceleration webinar. The orange bars are the scores after taking his webinar, and the red bars are the scores for the top CEOs, the target. The very first step to using effectiveness marketing is to ask ourselves, what are the changes that my ideal customers experience when they use my product? Based on how we answer that question, we define our effectiveness categories, 3 to 5 areas where we create a measurable change in our ideal customer's life. In this example, the effectiveness categories are power, balance, strength, and endurance. Morgan believes that his ideal customers, which are up-and-coming CEOs, will experience significant changes in these areas as a result of watching his webinar. Another example that's easy to visualize is a chiropractor. The effectiveness categories for a chiropractor would be something like pain reduction, quality of life, less stress, and better sleep. These are the changes chiropractors make in the lives of their customers. Of course, they may have a specialty like treating migraine headaches or relieving lower back pain specifically, in which case that specialty would be included as one of their effectiveness categories. The next step is to define several queries in each effectiveness category, such that our ideal customer will score low, as measured on a Likert scale, before they interact with our product or service, and score high afterwards. We then invite and incentivize our prospects to take the assessment using the appropriate lead generation tactics based on the whereabouts of our ideal customer and our budget. Typically, we'll share a link to the assessment with a button on our website and in an email or social media campaign. When Morgan's customers take the quiz the first time, they see the orange bars, their scores, and the red bars, so they know where they are relative to the top CEOs, Morgan's existing customers. This is a way of codifying our brand promise. You are currently here in these areas, and others who have used our product are here. We're claiming that our product, in this case the webinar, will increase your scores, improve your life in these areas. If what we're offering resonates with a consumer, they'll click on our call to action and purchase the product. This is a great way to simplify the consumer's decision-making process and get the right people into our sales funnel. If they score high in our effectiveness categories, they already have what we're offering and probably aren't a good fit for us. If they score low and don't care about what we're offering, they're also not the right customer for us. But if they score low and want to score high, they are an ideal customer for us. This approach enables the customer to pre-qualify themselves. At its core, effectiveness marketing is an automated conversion method with built-in social proofing. But wait, there's more, of course. It also helps you validate and improve your product. After the customer has experienced the product for an appropriate length of time, we invite and incentivize them to take that same quiz again, typically by sending them an email. They get to see their improvement, hey, it worked, and we get statistical evidence that validates our claims, our value proposition. This is also a great time to offer an upsell. In Morgan's case, he offers his high-end personal coaching program to his return users. So what if a customer doesn't score higher? Personally, I want to know that so I can reach out, find out what happened, and ameliorate the issue. I'd rather know something went wrong than not know, so I can fix the issue before bad reviews show up online. So effectiveness marketing also gives us a way to manage our online reputation before we have to hire a reputation management specialist to push negative reviews down on the stack. What I'm showing you here is what the customer sees. The organization has access to these individual results as well as to the collective results, which we can use to promote and improve our offering and to differentiate from our competitors. These are the collective before-after results from a weekend workshop on Napoleon Hill's 16 Laws of Success. We chose to measure 5 of the laws, as measuring all 16 would just take too long. This case is a little unusual in that the people taking the workshop came in with a pretty good knowledge of the laws. The blue before bars are pretty high. Even with that, the results showed that the attendees improved in these 5 areas after taking the workshop. This company can now use these results in their future marketing and advertising campaigns to promote the workshop. What's even more useful, in my opinion, is the collective before-after changes in each category. This showed that we did a good job teaching laws 4 and 11, but not quite as good with laws 2 and 8. So the instructors were able to improve their training materials, and the next time they taught this workshop, their scores improved in these 2 areas. These types of analytical results enhance our credibility and help us differentiate from our competitors. So, effectiveness marketing creates evidence that our product delivers what we promise, builds trust, credibility, and interest with our customer, provides the business intelligence we need to optimize our product, and reveals our value proposition from the customer's perspective. Why is this better than other feedback methods? A lot of businesses use customer satisfaction measures like Net Promoter Score, 4C, and Biz Rate. The complaint I hear is that these measures don't provide direct insight into what and how to improve. For example, the Net Promoter approach delivers a single score along with a slew of written comments, but someone then needs to manually work through that feedback and try to figure out the root cause of any issues. In contrast, effectiveness marketing data provides information that is directly actionable. The challenge with rating systems and testimonials is that they represent a customer's emotional response in a single moment of time. A product might get a good testimonial because at that moment the customer was in a good mood, not necessarily because the product was effective. Alternatively, the product could be very effective but receive a poor rating because the customer was just in a bad mood in that moment. In addition, testimonials and ratings can be falsified, either positively or negatively, and even paid for. I've personally been duped by testimonials, so I tend not to trust them. So testimonials and ratings do a good job of measuring a customer's emotional state in a moment of time, but they don't provide evidence that our product delivers what we promise or validate our claims. They can be forged both positively and negatively. They lack trust and credibility, and they don't provide business intelligence we can use to optimize our product. They don't reveal and validate our value proposition. We like to say that effectiveness marketing bridges the gap between subjective testimonials and objective, double-blind clinical trials. The results are far more valid than testimonials, but not as rigorous or expensive or time-consuming as full-blown scientific studies. Effectiveness marketing supports the key trends that have been shifting the marketing landscape over the past several years. These include a shift in economic value from commodities to goods to services and now to experiences, a shift from product marketing to customer-focused marketing, a shift in consumer attention from store shelves to online resources, and a shift from mass or shotgun marketing to targeted, lean marketing. First, the shift to experience economics. We used to extract raw materials and supply them as commodities. Then we started making goods from those materials and controlling access to those goods. Then we packaged the goods into services and delivered those services, constantly trying to improve them. And now we stage experiences. Economic value is now measured by the quality of a consumer's experience. People don't buy a product or service, they buy the experience that product or service provides. Consumers want experiences, not products. In the context of effectiveness marketing, a good effectiveness marketing campaign gives the consumer a unique, authentic experience and then measures the customer's experience over time. It's important to invest in the customer experience because useful products plus great experiences equals powerful brands. The customer experience rules for uber successful mega brands like Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon. The natural evolution then is to manage customers, not products, which brings us to our next shift, from product marketing to customer-focused marketing. In the traditional product model, we market individual products, each with its own profit margin. Our total profit is the profit margin times the total number of units sold. In the more modern customer model, we market to customer segments, and our profit becomes the profit per customer segment times the number of segments. It's a subtle but very different way of looking at our bottom line. Focusing intensely on the customer is highly lucrative. Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon are billion customer businesses, primarily because they are obsessed with their customers. Collectively, these companies are worth over $128 billion, so they must be doing something right. One thing they all have in common is that they foster value creation for the customer over profit. They focus on providing meaningful value to all, making no distinction between a paying customer and a non-paying customer. They simply aim to be indispensable to as many people as possible. In their model, a visitor is anyone who pays special attention to you. A friend is a visitor who commits by sharing personal information. And customers are friends who complete a purchase. One of the big lessons we can learn from Google, Apple, Facebook, and Amazon is to provide value and utility to our customer base, whether or not they've purchased something, by helping them save time and effort in their daily lives. This builds sustainable relationships and turns visitors into friends, into customers. In the context of effectiveness marketing, a well-designed effectiveness marketing campaign saves consumers time and effort by simplifying their decision-making process, by helping them quickly and easily determine, is this the right product for me? Is this going to meet my needs? Is this what I'm looking for? The effectiveness marketing strategy organically shifts visitors into friends and friends into customers. Another huge shift in the marketing landscape is the ready availability of online resources. In the traditional buying decision journey, a consumer became aware of a product, went to the store shelf to buy it, then took it home and experienced it. Google calls these stages stimulus, first moment of truth, the store shelf, and second moment of truth, the experience. In the modern buying decision model, instead of going straight to the store shelf, consumers do their online research, reading reviews, doing comparison shopping, looking for alternatives, checking social media, etc. Google coined the term zero moment of truth, or ZMOT, to describe this state. Word of mouth is now shared digitally, and that sharing then becomes the next person's zero moment of truth. As solution providers, our job is to insert ourselves into this zero moment of truth. and effectiveness marketing does just that. It's interesting to note that 70% of online shopping carts are abandoned by the shoppers before they get to a purchase. This is because the shopper goes off to do their online research and get distracted, never to return to complete the transaction. The effectiveness marketing approach keeps buyers engaged, focused, lets them know if our product is right for them, provides social proofing, and provides an opportunity to purchase, all in one fell swoop. Another important trend is the shift from mass marketing to targeted or lean marketing methods. In mass or shotgun marketing, we attempt to raise awareness about a product in a large, non-specific group of people and hope that at least a few of these people will become customers. Companies like Coca-Cola use this approach. In the targeted lean marketing approach, we attempt to raise awareness about a product to a specific demographic of people and work hard to turn those customers into promoters who will share their success with our product with their network, ultimately resulting in more customers. In lean or agile marketing, we apply scientific method and lean techniques, which, by the way, were borrowed from Toyota's lean manufacturing philosophy, to marketing and sales processes. We develop a strategy, implement a solution, measure the effectiveness of the solution, make improvements based on our finding, incorporate that back into the strategy, and then continue along in an iterative feedback loop. The problem with applying the lean approach to our traditional marketing sales funnel is that typical conversion measures do not reveal underlying issues. We measure conversion rates between traffic, leads, prospects, and sales, but this does not provide the information we need to improve. Much like Net Promoter Score, which gives us a number but doesn't provide any insight into how we can improve that number. To solve this challenge, we use the Lean Marketing Framework to map out the user lifecycle stages and user states. Each stage of the user lifecycle may have multiple user states, and the user states are customized to our specific product and marketing strategy. The goal then is to measure conversions at each user state and figure out how to best move users from one user state to the next. This is also known as growth hacking. The first user lifecycle stage is acquisition, where we get people to come to our site using whatever lead generation techniques are appropriate, given our target customer and pocketbook. Next is activation, getting people to sign up for anything that could lead to a repeat visit, getting them into our funnel, into our CRM. The next stage is retention, where we entice users to become actively engaged. We then monetize active users in the revenue stage, and finally seek referrals from active users. The actual user states in each of these stages depends on our particular product and strategy. We then use the agile iterative feedback loop to optimize conversions at each user state. It's important to focus on the upstream user states first. For example, we shouldn't focus our efforts and dollars on revenue conversion if our activation stage isn't working. We should spend our resources getting the earlier user states working first, then work our way down. Now I'd like to focus on the customer's journey, from getting their attention, to getting them engaged, to getting them to purchase our product. So why do people buy? They buy when it gives them hope for a better now. We really get their attention if they think we can improve their situation in this moment. People buy to release, diminish, relieve pain, fear, frustration, anxiety. People buy for the transformation they will experience. How will it make me feel? How will it change my life? They buy for the promise. What will it mean to me? And they buy for the benefit. Remember, people don't buy a product or service. They buy the benefit it will provide. Now let's dig a bit deeper into the neuropsychology of buying. In the triune model, the human brain has three parts. The instinctual or reptilian brain focuses on self-preservation. It looks for anything in the environment that can cause pain, irritation, anxiety, fear, frustration, or suffering. The emotional or limbic brain records pleasant and unpleasant memories, orchestrates judgments that influence human behavior, and focuses on social and nurturing behaviors. It looks for the benefit, promise, and transformation. The rational brain, or neocortex, focuses on intellectual processes, speech, and logic. It looks for proof, credibility, and trust. To build interest, trust, and credibility, speak to these brains when communicating with your customer. Show them how your product will alleviate their pain. Get them to imagine the future benefit your product will provide. To do this, we need to fully understand our perfect client. You know, the one that wants and needs our product. We need to identify their pains, frustrations, fears, their wants and needs, their demographics and psychometrics, which is their mental capacities and processes, skills and knowledge, abilities, attitudes, personality traits, and educational achievements. Spend some quality time defining your perfect client profile. Dig deep, because the better we know our client, the easier it is to connect with them. Now we're in a position to take advantage of the psychology of buying. To masterfully guide the buyer through the user lifecycle states, activate the instinctual brain by pointing out how your product alleviates your client's pain, fears, irritations, etc. This activates the emotional brain, which looks for the benefit, the promise, the transformation. The logical brain then kicks in to justify the judgments made by the instinctual and emotional brains and seeks trust and credibility. In summary, educators buy when the perceived benefit outweighs the perceived risk. Risk is reduced when the fear center in the brain is alleviated, particularly fears around making the wrong decision, losing money, or feeling stupid, ashamed, or embarrassed. A well-constructed effectiveness marketing campaign clearly demonstrates the product's benefits, belays fears, and builds interest, trust, and credibility. An effectiveness marketing campaign incorporates a few additional stages compared to the lean marketing approach. During the retention stage, when we're engaging the user, we measure and display the before state. We add an experience stage where the user experiences the product, and we measure and report their after state. This gives our users another opportunity to provide referrals and gives us effectiveness data we can use to charm additional users into our sales funnel. To tie everything together and wrap up, we'll walk through the steps of implementing an effectiveness marketing campaign. First, we define our ideal customer profile. Then we identify our effectiveness categories, those areas where we create a measurable change in the lives of our ideal customers. Next, we develop our queries such that our ideal customer scores low before they interact with our product or service and scores high afterwards. We then design our customer experience and create meaningful, useful content to share with our users. Using the lean marketing framework, we then map out our user lifecycle and define our user states. Next, we develop and implement our marketing and sales copy, being sure to address our ideal customers' needs and pain points. We then drive traffic to the assessment and invite and incentivize people to take it. We collect the before data, close the sale, and deliver the product. We allow the customer to experience our product or service for an appropriate length of time. Then we send them an email inviting and incentivizing them to take the assessment again. Then we collect the after or post data. If the customer's score did not improve, we immediately reach out to resolve the issue and point them in a direction that will help them. We compile and analyze the collective results and then use those results to optimize and promote our product. Whew! In closing, I hope I've been able to communicate all the amazing benefits effectiveness marketing has to offer, how it can be used to optimize the value exchange between organizations and customers, how it helps businesses ensure their product message is congruent with their customers' experience, how it helps us better serve our customers, bring more customers on board, and make more money. I've shared a lot of information and hopefully you've been able to take it all in. If you would like to learn more, dig deeper, or explore implementing effectiveness marketing in your organization, I want you to contact Eric and schedule a one-on-one consultation and demo. We look forward to helping you. Thank you very much.